Jets needed a miracle. Baloney, man. It was 14-14 at the half. We drove down their throats numerous times. We fumbled on the 10-yard line. Like, give me a break. We were in the game the whole time. We saw an opportunity with 2 minutes left, and we took it. That's what happened. We took your lunch, Cleveland Browns. Well, we did the same thing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett, who they brought in the second half, and we've seen this so many times. They bring in the new guy. We saw it with Baker Mayfield. We saw it with Kyle Pitts. They bring him in, and he's the hero. Kenny Pickett, who's a punk, by the way. Laughing, he's jawing with our team. He's a rookie. He's out there. He thinks he's this, that, and the other thing. Well, guess what? He ends up throwing 3 interceptions, and he kind of didn't look so good the rest of the game, okay? After he kind of ran in a touchdown, looked like he was going to be the hero. Not so much, because he's a punk, and punks always pay, and that's the way it is.
A violent vertical edge setter.
I see some ass off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop, you're finished. Hey, first down. He's a weird kid. Worse than that, sir.
Punks always pay. Remember that. Punks always pay. The word punk, it's not used enough in today's culture, in my opinion, so I will use it because I am from a different generation and I am old and I like it. So hello, everybody. Welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest. I am GreenBean and I am happy to be here. Like Manny says, we took it. We didn't get gifted anything, man. Make no mistake. We took it. It was there. They didn't think we could get it, and we took it nonetheless. That's what's really going on this season for the 2-2 New York Jets. So as is standard, we just finished up a 2-hour and 10-minute live stream over at Jets Talk 24/7. Oh, excuse me. Jets Talk 24/7 with Matt O'Leary, Ryan, and myself. And every now and then, we used to do this every week, but every now and then, even though I'm 2 weeks in a row here, we throw up an After Hours Jets Fest when I'm feeling frisky. I feel like, you know what? We didn't finish. I just felt like we had more to discuss. I have the time, I have the energy, and I figure I have you, so why not do it? Tonight is the After Hours Jets Fest. After the New York Jets became 2-2 for the first time since 2003, I saw. I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate. Either way, it's been a long-ass time. So if that is accurate, 2003, you know what I was doing when I was in 2003? I was still working at AT&T in Morristown, New Jersey. I had yet to be a homeless man in Newark. That's how long that's how long ago it was. I didn't come down to Florida yet. I didn't meet my wife, have my kids, build my career, a whole new life, leave there, come to Virginia for 5 years, go on the road for 2 years. That's how long it's been since the Jets were 2-2. And when guys like Mo Dean come in here and they try to ruin it for you, hello, Mo. When they come in here and try to ruin it, you don't let them, because doesn't give a shit who we played, what the scenario is. We know this is the first time we're 2-2 since 2003, potentially. Enjoy it. You're allowed. You're allowed to enjoy it, everybody. So let's say hello. Look, Salty Nuts getting us started tonight. Yes, burning the midnight oil. That's right, buddy. Ryan Rivera, I'm the man. Well, you're the man, Ryan. And Twisted is here. What's up, man? It's good. Mo, as I said, Mo Dean is here. He's talking divorce. You know what's going to be really funny? And this is not my idea. Somebody said it in the previous chat, but I put it up here for you guys. Here's what I said. And this is what I see. For all the pain Tom Brady has given us over the years, wouldn't it be poetic if when this Giselle Tom Brady thing dissolves, if she comes over and gets wooed by the debonair cutie pie supreme Jets quarterback, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's throwing the ball around with Tom Brady's kids. Hey, just saying. I'm just saying. That's all. Travis is here. Travis from Ohio. I hear you every week almost, buddy. I didn't know you were Travis from Ohio. Travis Preheim. You got to tell us this stuff. Braden's here. It's good to see Braden. I love Braden. He's one of my faves. JTS is psyched up with Braden. Indiana Jets, my old buddy, is here. Jay-Z Jets fan, Michael Persaud, Jin Pak, right? Another Jets fix. Right on, man. Jeff Otis Brown, my buddy. He's Jeff Otis Brown. I'll tell you something about Jeff Otis Brown. Jeff Otis Brown is one of the level-headed people that hang out with us in here. He's significantly more level-headed than about 88% of us that hang out on the internet. Jeff's kind of level, a little bit better than us at that. Ruggs is here, right? Code Monkey or Claude Monk. Remember that? I had a whole big thing. What's up with you, buddy? Claude. Manny's here. What's up? That's right, bud. We took it. Ali Lewis. Kareem Mitchell is here. Do you think we were wrong? You think you were wrong for saying who is Quinnen Williams for yelling at the coach? I didn't say that. Did I say who is Quinnen Williams yell at the coach? I don't think players should ever yell at coaches. But I don't recall saying, not saying I didn't. I don't remember saying that. Who is Quinnen Williams for yelling? No, I think my whole thing is this, Kareem, is that I think it's indicative of a bigger issue. Right. And then just so happened that after that game, DJ Reed said, we have to have a meeting, players only. We got it. So there was a lot. I think there was more going on there than we were able to see. That's my main concern. I mean, look, here's the truth of it, Kareem. I'm up here a lot. I do Sundays. I'm live for 3.5, 4 hours sometimes. I do 2-3 hour Thursday thick of it. I'm on 2 hours with Ryan and Matt. Then I do this for an hour. I talk a lot. So I can't say that I agree with everything I say. But I will say it's a problem. It shouldn't be happening. Our defensive line, or any players, right? They should not be screaming at the coach for any reason. If that's happening, there's a problem. More than likely. Right. So Troy Martin TV. That's right. What's up? John Hepburn. Right. What's up, John? Jeremy's here. Joe S. Right. Paris is back. Right on, Paris. Is it better to play a low-scoring game against the Dolphins? I'll tell you what. What's better? It would be better to be in a low-scoring game against the Dolphins. I think if we start trying to go, punch for punch with them, it's not that we don't have weapons, right? We do. But they have, look, Teddy, whatever warts we can attribute to Teddy Bridgewater, the guy is a pro. He's a professional NFL quarterback, first-round pick who had a great career going on in Minnesota, had a devastating knee injury. They thought he may never play again. He was out for 1.5 years. Remember that? And then the Jets signed him in free agency. He looked great for us in preseason. Foolishly, but smartly, guys, we ended up flipping that free agent signing off a scrap heap, got him for nothing. We flipped him to the Saints for a third, one of McCagnon's better flips, quite frankly. And he ended up filling in for Drew Brees, played great, got a big contract in Carolina. They quit on him early, in my opinion. Look at Carolina. They're a mess. Why didn't they just keep Teddy and roll with him? They got Sam Darnold, the whole thing. But so Teddy Bridgewater, and he's getting older, right? His arm isn't what it used to be. His legs aren't what they used to be. But the truth is that he's got some serious weapons. He has pretty good protection. Their line has not been what it looked like it could be in the offseason. They added some pieces, right? Some big pieces. But the thing is that it's like they're not quite there yet, it looks like. I think they had some injuries too. I'd have to double back and look. But Teddy Bridgewater with Waddle, Gesicki, Hill, and their running back stable, if he gets comfy, I don't know if we can keep up, bro. It'd be fun, get a 51-49 kind of thing going. But yeah, I think it would be better for us if we can keep it defensive and win like a 21-17 kind of a thing. I think that would be in our favor. Getting up there into 4 or 5 touchdowns, 30s, 35, as fun as it would be, that's my answer. Isaiah Camp, what's up? Manny, what's up? Yeah, Joe S. Yeah. First legitimate win. Look, I disagree with that statement. I understand why you're saying it, but I don't think that's an illegitimate win. And the thing is because, again, it was 14-14 at the half. Dude, that's a game. We were in it the whole third quarter. There was a part of the fourth quarter where they started to get ahead of us, right? We started to stumble. But don't forget, we drove down the field twice on them. One time, in addition to the touchdowns. The one time Flacco, we were on the 10-yard line. Flacco got strip sacked because the rookie, Mitchell. And, but we were there, man. We were playing. We were with them step for step. They got ahead. They fell asleep. We knocked them out. So I don't think that's an illegitimate win. Stud City, who I hate this NC thing he's got going on these days. It is what it is, though. No, Modine, Trubisky was the first string quarterback. Doesn't matter what you think. Mike Tomlin had him out front. And don't forget, Mo, how can you remove the idea? You know how many times they've brought the noob in the game against the Jets, and it was, we welcomed them to the league in historic fashion. Yay. We overcame that. How the hell can we minimize that? Gabriel's here. Steelers fans and Browns fans can cry to go right. They can use the terrible towels and blot each other's orange and gold tears. That's right. And we earned it. Well, I don't know. I think you're splitting hairs there, Indiana. I think you're splitting hairs. All right, let me catch up. Hello to everybody. Gitmo Bob. Hey, good to see you, buddy. It's nice to see you, Bob. You know how I feel about you. I miss you. I miss you around here. I see all you guys. I'm going to try to catch up. I see Mess, Gino, Italy. I see you guys. I see you. Gabriel's here. Let's get to this. Thank you for the super chat, Matthew. He says, Green Bean, what's up? Listen, man, how important is it to win this week at home, especially given the fact that we have an in-division game? Go Jets. Well, here's the thing. While I think that we shouldn't overemphasize the importance, it's game 5. We're 2-2. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to lose some games. So from that angle, let's not make it more important than it is. But with the tidbits that you alluded to, it's extremely important. This is our first division game of the year. Miami, who has been really impressing, right, just lost their quarterback and an old Jet, albeit for 10 minutes. A Jet comes in, a guy that shut us out last year. Now, of course, it's the defense that shut us out, but Teddy Bridgewater shellacked us last year. So don't forget that. The most recent time that we have run into Teddy Bridgewater, what was it, 27-0, 24-0, something like that. So he's got that taste in his mouth. He got Jet blood in his mouth. So we got to remember, I would prefer any backup quarterback to Bridgewater. Most anyway. Like to have one of these like standard backup guys. Who's a standard backup in this league? I can't even think of anybody. But you know the kind of guys I'm talking about. Teddy Bridgewater's he's a starting quarterback. Now, maybe not what he used to be. But I think the fact that it's a division game, and like you said, we're coming home. We have not won at home this year. Our only 2 losses are our 2 home games. It would be really big to give that home crowd, the ones who, knowing that Miami's good, they got a lot of weapons, we're still kind of playing ugly ball, We've lost 2 at home. The Jets fans that are going to overcome all that and get into that building, we got to give them. We got to start winning at home, man. We got to start giving the people a reason to come to MetLife. That's what we have to do. You know? But again, if we lose this game, it doesn't mean anything as far as the success of our season. Of course, it's better to win, right? We know that. But it's not bigger than it is, but there's a lot of understories, you know what I mean? Backstories that are very important. So I think we should really try to win this one. Really, really try. You know what I mean? Joe S. checking in. This O has the potential to be the best since 98. Well, don't forget 2015, right? That offense, I mean, that was the best offense in Jets history other than Joe Namath. I mean, it's sad to say. But I know what you mean, Joe. And I also thought the offense in 2009 and 10 was, I mean, look at the studs we had then, you know? But when you go all the way back to 98, you had Vinny Testaverde playing in his most magical season that he's ever had. He had 27 touchdowns and right. Let me double check here. Vinny Testaverde stats. Let's go hard here. Let's go straight to the source here. Pro Football Reference, a website that I absolutely love and I appreciate that they do it for free. 1998, Vinny Testaverde he threw for 3,256 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, right? And he had such weapons as Keyshawn Johnson. He had Wayne Krebet, who hated each other, but were consummate pros. Once they put the helmet on and went on the field, it was as if they were brothers. And I respect that. We had Curtis Martin, right? Hall of Fame running back. We had Kevin Mawai, Jason Fabini. I think we had Jumbo Elliott. Jason Beanie was on the right side. We had Matt O'Dwyer. Forget who our left guard was. I forget. And who do we had like Dedrick Ward as like our third receiver, right? He was very effective in that role. That offense was potent, boy. In my opinion, they could score whenever they needed to. Whenever they needed to. Chad Henne, right. You guys are best. Flacco. We're talking about the backups, the stand right. Flacco, Chad Henne, Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Love. We don't know what Jordan Love is, right? That's great. You guys are giving me great answers. You guys are great. Thank you. Right, those guys. I would much rather Chad Henne be suiting up and trotting out there than Teddy. That's what I mean. Sam Darnold, right, exactly. Hoyer's another one, right, Windsor. Angry Jenkins with the Sam Darnold. That's funny. It's funny, right? But I would much prefer Sammy coming in right now, right? Sammy Nervous Nelly. Sammy Happy Feet. You know? So, but Joe S., yeah, this offense, though, to flip that and come in to where we are. I mean, look at it. If Zach Wilson can remain and increase if he can remain confident, just like as a baseline, comfortable, calm, and confident, that kid can make any throw on the field. Any of them. His problem, and we saw it in this game, is that, I mean, there were a couple of times, one in particular, where we had exactly what we wanted. Like the linebacker, I think it was covering the tight end. Zach had nobody. The linebacker peeled off and said, I'm going to go tackle the quarterback. The tight end was open, right? It's exactly what you want. That was a 10-yard gain without batting an eyelash. And Zach tossed it all the way down. So Zach's problem is that he's still trying to go for the big play. Remember last year, Mike White came in, and the only thing Mike White did that Zach wasn't doing was he took what the defense gave him. He took hey, if you want to give me the dump offs, you want to give me those, I'll take them. I had no problem throwing the ball to Michael Carter and watching them cut you up for 8 to 10 yards. No problem with that. And then when they come up to try to stop it, that's when you utilize some of your deeper balls, your mid-range, your 15 to 20-yard passes. That's how you do it. So I think if Zach could start to do that, and he did do it in this game, don't get me wrong. We had the 2 Garrett Wilson drops. They could be considered those. We had the quick slant from Elijah Moore, which he blew open a little bit. We had the tight ends. We had the drop, obviously, from Conklin. That was like, what, an 8-yard? Okay, so it's not that he doesn't do it, but I still think that he's pushing it a little more than I'd like him to be able to like as a flow. Sorry about the glare. As a flow, like, regularly. Like he can get you the deep stuff. He can hit the intermediates. But if all that's there is his check down, take the fucking check down. If it's 4 yards, take it, man. Take it. But I think Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, even like Conklin. I mean, I think Ruckert is just, dude, he's in the wings, man. That guy is so talented. He's just waiting. I still am a huge Mims believer. Hey, they don't like him. It is what it is. I can't believe that they value Jeff Smith more than him, but it is what it is. Corey Davis, thankfully, looks like he might be turning a corner. If Corey Davis can continue this, really good footwork, Corey Davis, if he gets confident, and he's like, man, I'm better than all these cornerbacks. If he starts thinking like that, Corey Davis like that, Garrett Wilson with what he can do, Elijah Moore, dude, he's a surgeon out there, and he will eat you up. If you don't get him quick, he can carve you to death, to pieces. And then you have Breece Hall and Michael Carter, and we still have CJ Uzomah. So I think this offense can be really something, man. I agree with you, Joe. I really do. I really do. Yeah, Jim Pox saying, he thinks that Teddy might have an overall winning record. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. Would you? Think about the Carolina thing. I mean, dude, Matt Rule is a shit show. I mean, he's a train wreck. As much as I happen to like his style of coaching, I really do. And I was happy even though I was Mike McCarthy when we were going to hire the coach that year, when we fired Todd Bowles, I was Mike McCarthy. That's who I wanted. I couldn't believe that we had a Super Bowl winning coach, unceremoniously fired. I talked to numerous Green Bay fans. Really, I happened to have run-ins with Green Bay fans. It was crazy. They were like, all of them, while they're a much more mellow fan base, they were like, the Packers did him wrong. That's how they felt. We don't like this. The fact that he actually went out and said he turned down the Arizona Cardinals job. They had just hired, what was his name? I want to say Wilcox. It wasn't Vince, whatever, the coach that they hired. They hired him for 1 year, fired him. They drafted a top 10 quarterback, threw him away. And he was like, I don't want to go there. He said, the only team I will coach this, if I coach this year, it's going to be the New York Jets. If it's not the New York Jets, I'm going to take a year off. It's crazy. But then we heard it's looking like it's Matt Rule. I said, okay. Matt Rule just rebuilt 2 college programs from garbage into success. Why not? I was happy with that. And then we picked Adam Gase, which was just, I couldn't even believe it. But anyway, but you look at Matt Rule, but he gave Teddy Bridgewater a $63 million contract to come over there from the Saints. Somebody was going to hire him. There was competition for Teddy that offseason. He was a commodity. Gave him $63 million. He played well, not great, played well. He gave Robbie Anderson the 90 catches that he had. DJ Moore looked good. Christian McCaffrey got hurt, and you know what that does to their offense. So instead of bringing in Terrace Marshall and Chuba Hubbard and all those guys, instead of bringing them in and just kind of keeping it rolling with Teddy, they trade Teddy for a 6th and they eat the $17 million. And they trade a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th for Sam Darnold, the 32nd ranked quarterback in the and then a year later, they're done with Sam and they trade, even though they got Baker Mayfield for a song. I mean, Cleveland paid half the contract and it was like a conditional fifth. That ends fine. But dude, that's 4 quarterbacks because you got to include Cam Newton was there. He got rid of him right away. You could have kept Cam for a year, drafted a quarterback, let him sit for a little while, and then they drafted Corral from Ole Miss. So, dude, think about that shit show that it is down there. Now, Teddy Bridgewater, he should still be in Carolina, in my opinion. You could draft Corral and let him sit behind Teddy for a year or two. What is all this Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield shit? What are you doing? Right? So if Teddy Bridgewater stayed there, think about if Teddy Bridgewater had McCarthy, Chuba Hubbard, Terrace Marshall, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Arnold, the tight end, who's good. He's good to me. They have offensive line issues, but dude, that team's loaded. Their defense is, they got lots of talent on that defense. So anyway, I'm scared of Teddy. That's how I see it. I really am. I'm not happy, that it's not Tua. I mean, all the injury stuff aside, right? Just looking at the game, right? You know how I feel about, I've told you guys, I've made it very clear on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. I am very clear how I feel. Leon Johnson, right, Joe S. There you go. That's right. I loved Leon. Good pull, Joe. Good pull. I forgot about Leon. Great punt returner, kick returner, and good backup running back, too. He was effective. Good in the passing game. Did we have in 98, did we have Soul or Richie Anderson? No, we didn't. They came a little. I think we had Soul. He was young, but the fullbacks. But we had Byers in 98, who was old, but what a stud that guy was, man. Anyway, lost my train of thought. What was I saying? The Tua thing. So the injury stuff aside, I'm not necessarily excited. Like I've seen a lot of Jets fans go, dude, they're with their backup quarterback. I'm like, Teddy's been a starter up until this year. I mean, at times. What the Jets should have did that year is kept him. The third was great. I forget I think we turned the third. It was Chuma Edoga, I think, was the 3rd round pick. I think that's what we did. So how'd that work out? I mean, he was a backup offensive lineman for 4 years. That's real good for McCagnon. But I think what the Jets should have done is started Teddy Bridgewater that year and let Sam groom. Let McCown work. We don't have a quarterback coach. So even Todd Bowles' era with Jeremy Bates, they didn't give Sam a quarterback coach either. What the fuck? Sam had the weirdest situation. He had 2 coaching regimes that decided this quarterback doesn't get a quarterback coach. It's the craziest thing. So McCown functioned as that for him, even though he wasn't. But he functioned as that. He was instrumental for Sam's development that year. And so what they should have done is just started Teddy, kept him. Why not? He's here for nothing. It was like $1 million contract. So that was vet minimum, something like that. Start Teddy. If he gets hurt, whatever, you got McCown. Just keep. And they gave McCown $10 million that year. It was crazy. I don't know. McCown figured it out. Whatever. The Texans were going to give him a head coaching job out of nowhere. Like whatever McCown is, he's nailed it in this league. He is very quietly a stud muffin, making millions over million, hand over fist. He retired. He came back. They said, give him $5 million to come back. Sure. He just sat on the bench for 6 months. Make another $5 million, why not? So anyway, that's what we should have done. And we should have let Sam kind of come in. Then we wouldn't have had that fun Detroit game, of course, but it is what it is. But that would have been the smart money. Go, you got Teddy. He looks good. Start him. Start him at least half the season. Let Sam kind of develop. Let them know the offense. We just threw them out there. Anyway, Patrick Sullivan checking in. Thanks, Patrick, for the super chat. He says, hey, Greenbean, you think Joyner brings any extra help with shutting down Cheetah? See that he played for the Raiders. That's actually an interesting point. The fact that the Raiders played the Chiefs so often, right? That's interesting. I didn't even really put that together yet, Patrick. So thank you for that. That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah, I think having experience with anything is an asset, right? I think it's an asset. Now, whether or not Joyner turned a corner this week, and it's the season now. He hasn't played safety in 4 years. He obviously got injured last year, so he was just rusty. He was working it out. Give me a minute, coach. Give me a minute, coach. I'm getting there. And if this is the guy that they see, I mean, he was lights out this week. Lights out. So if his experience with Hill and the fact that he's turning this corner, just had the game of games, 2 picks, beautiful pass defense, some other plays, he locked it down. I think it could be a great asset. And I like the way that you organize that thought. I think that's really great. His experience being in the division with Tyreek Hill for so long, and he was the nickel corner, right? He played safety for them, but they moved him to nickel corner for 2 seasons where he wasn't that good, but he was playing it. So he had to go against Hill. Hill plays the slot. So he had to go against Hill one-on-one numerous times. I'm sure he didn't do all that well. But still, he knows him. He knows what he had to prepare for. So I think that is an asset. And that knowledge, bringing that to the defensive back room and giving that to the young bucks, like even DJ Reed is only 25, right? I mean, our defensive backfield is young, man. And then you even got the other guys. You got the Bryce Halls, who was inactive last week. You got Brandon Eccles. You got Michael Carter II, who also had a pick. Giving them the knowledge. I think that's a beautiful asset, quite frankly. I think, hey, it can't hurt, right, man? It can't hurt. Great question, Patrick. Brian Lemos checking in. Thank you. He says, what's better than 1 win? 2 in doodles, duder. I completely agree. What's better than 1 win is 2. And what's better than 2? I don't know how much you thought about this, Brian, but what's better than 2 wins? 3. And what's better than 3 wins? One of them being against your division rival who you have not beat, right? We haven't beaten a division rival. Is it 4 years? Let me know in the chat. Is it 4 years, guys? Either way, if it's 3, 4, 5, maybe, it's beautiful. If we could turn that around. So number 1, we're 2-2 for the first time. We're beating teams in Pennsylvania and Ohio, which we struggle, right? Particularly Pennsylvania. I think we won 1 game in 35 years or something crazy like that. So we're breaking some streaks here, some negative streaks. We have the biggest fourth quarter comeback in 2,297 games or whatever it was. Harry's got to tell me. I see Harry. What's up, Harry? 2,200 and change games. That type of a comeback, up by 13 or more with a minute and 55 left. It's been 2,200 and change games that the team that was on top won. We broke that. And then another streak we broke. I mean, maybe it's not a streak, but it's definitely a vibe. It's something, is that the Jets didn't let the rookie come in and steal the show and be the hero. Quite the opposite. He came in, he started to do some stuff. He was flapping his gums, and the Jets just went, He threw 3 interceptions, and we lumped him up good. He was ineffective. After that initial We had to adjust or whatever. We were in that dip in the game. So I like it. So we're working on something. So if we could now beat a division opponent this year, that would be real good, Brian. Real good. That'd be good. Hey, Dylan's here. What's up, Dylan? Good to see you. Dylan, one of the co-hosts of Jetnation Radio, one of my faves. Mike, Shep, and Rankins play a different position, and Martin snaps were cut into by Huff this week. Interestingly enough, though, Dylan, Martin had more snaps than he did the week before. I'm fairly confident that is the case, unless I mixed up my numbers. Jacob Martin, in my opinion, should be starting, if he doesn't change it, he should be moving aside for an uptick. His playing time, just like you said, you mentioned Huff, but I think Jermaine Johnson's playing time should be ticked upward. And I know Michael Clemens has played predominantly on the right side. I don't even know if he's played on the left at all. They did have him inside a little bit. That was interesting to see. But he's played predominantly behind Carl Lawson. But Jacob Martin and guys like Solomon Thomas and those kind of guys, if they can't start to be effective, Rankins, on the other hand, had probably his best game as a Jet 2 games ago, or maybe I think it was Cincinnati. So he's adding. Nathan Shepard and Solomon Thomas are doing very, very little. Very, very little. So, and then Jacob Martin's another one. So I'd like to see that. Like, hey, you gave him 4 or 5 games. He's the weak link. Start giving your guys that are performing, give them 5% more. If it's 3 plays, if it's 6 plays, more, do it. See what happens. But Dylan, the one thing I really do want to see, man, above all, I want to see JFM stop playing defensive end, man. In my opinion, it's not working. And when I focus on it, I haven't watched an all 22 and focused specifically on that, but I've watched numerous plays where JFM is incapable of sealing the edge. Now, if that's because he gets beat or if it's because he shoots the gap thinking that he's licking his chops and he's going to break through it, whatever it is, the edge is not sealed. Now, maybe the assignment could be to, okay, and they have the backfill linebacker there. Maybe in his defense, that's not how I see it. The defensive end has outside responsibility. JJ can pass rush and seal the edge. And it's not, in my opinion, JFM, he's being placed out of position. Why? I don't know. Maybe they want to value the contract. I don't know. I think as a 3 tech, you see how effective he can be shooting the gaps inside. He's strong and slippery. He doesn't have the bend, and he has struggles to seal the edge. So I'd prefer to see him, I prefer to see him on the inside. But so that's the big one for me. Jeff, yeah, we're talking about Carolina a little bit. Makes you feel good having a GM like JF. Absolutely, Jeff. Like, think about that. Remember, and remember the narratives that were going on back then. There was Schefter came out and said, word on the street is Sam Darnold is worth a late first-round pick right now. Teams are there are teams offering. There is a market, and the value is a late first. So even if somebody had a high first, the thinking is, like, if they had, like, let's say 14, the thinking is they would give you 14 and you would give them Sam and a 4th or a 3rd, maybe, depending, right? So something like that. So that's what they said. And then a couple months later, when a lot of teams kind of found their quarterbacks in free agency, they said, Schefter, the word on the street is Sam Darnold is worth a 3rd or 4th round pick right now. 3rd or 4th. I think it was 3rd. Yeah, it was 3rd or 4th. I forgive me if I'm a little off, but it's in that area. And they said the market has dried up. Joe Douglas blew it. He dropped the ball because he's apprehensive and he can't commit. Joe Douglas just sat back. So I don't care what anybody thinks. You guys have no idea what I'm doing. He wanted to make sure that the Zach Wilson shoulder issue was taken care of, that they had their guy. He wasn't going to let a quarterback go. Whatever you think of Sam, he wasn't going to let him go if he didn't know he had a drastic improvement from his perspective in the draft. He said, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not convinced. And then he turns around after they told us the market was dried. I was at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. I was standing right next to the Grover coaster. My kids were on the Grover coaster, and I got the tweets. Sam Darnold traded. ESPN reports that the NFL reported. Nobody knew. The way they found out about it was the NFL said, this is done. Nobody said, this is going to happen. Nobody knew. Nobody had the tip. Joe Douglas was quiet. Matt Rule and the Carolina Panthers were quiet. And he turns around and he gets a second-round pick, which ended up being very high, way higher than anybody thought it would be, a fourth-round pick, and a sixth-round pick. And Sam Darnold went to Carolina, had 3 good games, and then completely shit the bed. Joe Douglas, man. Right, Keith Byers. What'd I say? I said Byers, right? Yeah, Joe S. would rather face Tua. Interesting. That's a good point, Joe. If we come out of this season with a franchise quarterback, it's a major win. And we got to make sure, like, we can't lose guys for a year. Like, even like late in the season, like, we can't lose an AVT. We can't lose a Garrett Wilson. You know what I mean? That's the other side of it. Like, we got to come out of this season healthier than we have been. Like Max Mitchell, we ended up getting decent news. Now, it sucks that he got hurt at all. But the word is, I mean, Rappaport said he's going to be back way before the season ends. He needs a few weeks. He hyperextended his knee. Right? Something like that. We thought it was torn. He's out. He's done. He could be done, the poor kid. So it's an interesting thing. Like even the Zach Wilson thing. Remember ACL. Everybody, doctors came out of the woodwork. It's an ACL. I know this. Blah, 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 blah. We found out it's a bone bruise. He's not out for the year. He's out, what did they say, 2 to 5 weeks or something. He ended up being out 3 games, not including the preseason. If you include the preseason, he was out 5 games, right? That's good news for us. We're the team that loses everybody for the year. Even Dwayne Brown. I mean, it sucks. He comes over here, and all of a sudden he's injured. That sucks. But theoretically, and the word is, he can come back. I think he can come off of IR this week against the Dolphins. So let's see. Maybe they're going to fold him in, see how it goes. But like Becton, we lost for the year. That sucked. Fant, we don't know. Few weeks. But even like if you look at it, like compared to who we are, there are upticks. So if we can come out of this and start to be a healthier team, like this whole medical thing that Joe Douglas did, it's, the training, the nutrition. We already saw the nutrition have an impact on Denzel Mims, on Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson said, it's all nutrition. That's the only thing I changed. It's Nikki, the nutritionist. She put this muscle on me. Right? So if that can start to stick, and we come out of this season and we know Zach Wilson's the dude, and we got Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Breece Hall. It's a win. Paris checking in. What's up? 1189 Paris. Thank you, buddy. He says, should the Jets let Zach develop into a gunslinger quarterback that can run and throw the ball, or develop him to become a quarterback that can inefficiently manage the offense that will make least amount of mistakes? Efficiently? quarterback that can inefficiently. I think you want to say efficiently. All right. Let me read it one more time. Should the Jets let Zach develop into a gunslinger quarterback that can run and throw the ball, or develop him to become a quarterback that can inefficiently manage the offense that will make the least amount of mistakes? That has to be efficiently. Okay. That's fine. I think that the Jets should develop Zach Wilson using the natural traits that he has. You can accentuate things, you can embellish things, and you can work on mitigating negative stuff, right? If he has footwork issues you don't like he tends to throw with his arm and not use his feet, not plant. He tends to do that. Work on that no matter what the hell he does. You want him, if he's not running for his life, you want him to be able to set so he can get the most accuracy on the ball, the most zip, the most accuracy, everything. You want him to be able to do that. So that's what I think. And if that means he's going to end up being somewhat of a gunslinger because he's so mobile in the pocket, behind the line of scrimmage, like he's not Lamar Jackson, running, or Josh Allen running for 100 yards a game, 80 yards, that kind of a thing. But he can run a little bit. He'll get you 20, 30 yards a game rushing. At the same time, it's more about what he does behind the line of scrimmage. I don't love that he runs backwards 25 yards. I don't like it. It's really scary because then no matter what you do, you got to throw a 30-yard pass to get past the line of scrimmage. It's like, that's spooky. But yeah, man, I think it is whatever Zach Wilson's strengths are, Paris. We just want to make sure that we are really fortifying those, making sure he's comfortable with those, making sure that the offense supports what those strengths are. And whatever his weaknesses are, we systematically and consistently work on them. You don't want to do this. This is how you stop doing that. This is how you stop doing that. When you get into trouble, you have a tendency to just run back to your old bad habits. We have to get past that. This is how you do it. And we work on it. You work on it. Calabrese, LaFleur, work on it. That's what I think. And I think if we do that, like Joe was saying, we can come out of this season knowing Zach Wilson is the guy. Because let's be real, we haven't had that in a long time. We've been excited about people. Even Sam Darnold's rookie season, the last 4 games that he lost, but against the Packers, against the Texans, he looked so legit. They were legitimate like shootouts with Brett Favre, with Aaron Rodgers, and with Deshaun Watson. Like, he was hanging, man. But even though we were happy about it, we were excited for the potential. No, you couldn't say that you were sold. And I was very excited. I mean, those last 4 games, I was like, okay. And I was excited going into year 2. Year 2, I went to the opening day game. We were blowing out Buffalo. We were 16-0 or whatever it was. Vic. And we ended up losing in the 4th quarter. And then he gets mono. And then he comes back. He has a good game against Dallas. Then he has the ghost game. And the season twirled down. I thought, okay, season 3. Well, yeah, but we kept like having to see. We would feel good about one thing, or nobody was convinced. I mean, you got a few people, of course. There's always going to be those guys. But overall, it was like, okay, let's see. If we can come out of this, if Zach, after missing 3 games, comes out and throws for 3,500, 3,600 yards, or even makes it to 4,000, has more touchdowns than interceptions, and we have an 8-9 win record, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to feel like we got our quarterback. And then we just build. You know what I mean? Just like with the Bills with Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't a world beater his first 2 years. He showed improvement and he showed potential. But he had a lot of clams, man. That guy was throwing the ball right. He's fumbling. He was throwing picks. He was all over the place. He was running, jumping in the air and getting hit and fumbling the ball. And then even in year 3 in the playoffs, how did they lose? Big Josh Allen fumble. Remember? So it's like that. We just need Sam. We need Sam to be, yeah, okay, Paris, I see. There you go. Yeah, efficiently. See, we're clicking, no? We're clicking. I got your back, man. No sweat. We need to be in a position where we go, that's our guy. All of Jet Nation is behind him. The coaching staff believes in him. And Joe Douglas doesn't have to consider using any of his resources on a damn quarterback from here on out for the next 10 years. That would be best case scenario. And if Zach Wilson has a down year here or there, we still know he's our guy. I mean, think about it. Think about how long Aaron Rodgers has been up there. Think about Russell Wilson in Seattle, right? Think of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady in New England. It's like they had these guys for decades, 10, 12, 15 years. When did Aaron Rodgers come in the league? Let me see. I forget. Rodgers. All right. Let me just see here. I forget the year. 2005. So that's 2020 is 15, 16, 17 years in the. Now, he didn't start for the first, what is it? Let me see. For 2-3 years. Let me see. Yeah, he had 65 yards his first year. He had 46 yards his second year. He had 218 yards his third year. Then they traded Favre to us. And then he had 4,000, 4,400, 3,900, 4,600, 4,200. Then he had in 2013, 2,500. So even a bad year, he's doing what our quarterbacks do on their best year. 2014, he comes back with 4,380. Then he does 38-21. Like, look, man, 39-22, 38-21. That's 4,000 in my brain. He's 100 away. In 1 year, he's 78 away from. Come on, that's $4,000. And in addition to that, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. Think about this. He came into his first year starting 28 TDs, 13 picks. Next year, 30 touchdowns, 7 picks. 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. 45 touchdowns, 6 picks in 2011. 39-8, 17-6 on that down year. I don't remember if he was injured or not. I'm not looking that deep. I'm just looking at the overview. I forget if he was. I think he was actually. 2,500, 17-6. So even when he was out there, he had a 104.9 quarterback rating. And he has 30, comes back. He has 38 touchdowns, 5 picks. Could you imagine watching that? 38 touchdowns and only gave the ball away 5 times in 16 games? Jesus, Virginia. I couldn't even imagine. Then he comes back 31-8, 47. Then he has a down year, 2017. I forget why. 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 picks. Again, even on the down years, it's lopsided touchdowns to picks. And then he's 25-2. In 2018, he has 4,442 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, man. 26-4 the next year. Then he comes back. 2020, he has 48 touchdowns and 5 picks. Then 37-4. And this year, he's got 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So he's at 50, only, you know what I mean? 50% piss. So it's like, technically speaking, this is like his worst year so far. And we get him. But could you imagine, guys, what that's like? These guys in Green Bay, they've had two quarterbacks. When was Brett Favre? What year was that again? That was the Browning Nagel year. I can't remember it like that. Favre. Let me see something. Let me see what year Brett Favre. So Brett Favre, remember he replaced Magikowski. Remember that? First, he was with the Magic Man. 1991, he was drafted, but he was with the Atlanta Falcons. And they traded him to Green Bay in their ultimate wisdom. 1992. So from 1992 to 2022, they've had two quarterbacks. Two. That is 2002, 2012, 2022. That's 30 straight years. In that time, I mean, just like I said, that was Browning Nagel. So we had Ken O'Brien, Browning Nagel, Boomer Esiason. Just in that 3-year period, we had three. Oh, my God. It's incredible. So look at Jeremy jumping ship. Look at Jeremy. What's he doing? You can tell who that is, right? That's Jeremy. What are you doing? Jumping ship? Devin Lloyd, Braden. That's right. You see Devin Lloyd's a stud, boy. What's up, Iowa? There's Iowa. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Hey, what's up, Mikey Mouse? Good to see you, buddy. Eddie McGuire's here, too. Our first year with Sam was mad promising. I know, it really was. You know what was so weird about that year, too? Like, he had no weapons. Like, he had Robbie, right? Robbie was still working on his route tree. He wasn't even the wide receiver that he ended up being, but he had that deep ball. And Robbie, you can't take anything away from Robbie Anderson in his work ethic department and his health. Robbie one of his biggest knocks was he's so slight, he's never going to make it. And that guy's healthy all the time. So you had Robbie. Who else did he have? You might have had Curly. I feel like Curly came back that year. He had a bunch of losers, but he had Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor and Sam Darnold to start developing a rapport. He starts becoming Sam's favorite target. In 2 games, they had 3 touchdowns. And then right after that, they cut him. They cut Terrell Pryor. Now, I don't know why, but doesn't that seem like with all that, maybe you make a concession or two? Maybe hey, look at this. Matt, hey, here he is. A quick half hour, he said. I know. I'm about to wrap it up, though. An hour, Matt. I'm doing an hour. Thank you for calling that out, Matt. That's funny because I did say that when we stopped the stream. I think I said it on the live stream at the end. A quick half hour, but I said, yeah, I'm going to do a short one tonight when we wrapped it up. I'm just going to do a short one. This will be short. It's still going to be short by my standards. That's funny. Thank you, Matt. I hope you're done editing. I know I've done, obviously, I've done all-nighters with editing, man. It's not easy, man. It's not, especially the later it gets. For me, the less proficient I get, right? So everything becomes elongated. And then I start thinking I should just go to sleep and wake up really early and be crisp. When I do that, it's a mess. It's a mess. So good for you, Matt. Thank you for busting my balls. Joe S. Thank you. Says Jets lost Brett Favre for Rob Moore. I don't know if we would have used that first round pick on Brett Favre, though. It's very possible. And Rob Moore was a stud, but he's not Brett Favre. Right? Look at this. I hate the way my beard's doing that. You see that thing it's doing? It's like splitting. Sorry. Let me just. I can't stand it. And I get it out. Let's do this. What do you guys think? Want to do this? There we go. Right? We'll do it like this the rest of the show, so I don't have to friggin' look at it. Right, Modine. I agree. He's a thief and a crook, and But that's new information. Now, we knew he was kind of a scumbag too with the stuff with the girl. We knew that. But, you take new information that we just learned this past couple months, and you say that having him all those years, we wouldn't have had a good time. Shit, boy. That's what we call revisionist history. Yeah, they were drafted. Exactly. He was drafted by Atlanta. They traded him. Ron Wolf, who assisted Charlie Casserly in picking the McCagnon Todd Bowles era. Ron Wolf. And he was with the Jets before he went to Green Bay, too. I know. Look at Matt busting my balls. Clay Wavy. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I just wanted to let you know I love you. Well, I love you, Clay Wavy. What a good deal. I appreciate that, man. That's nice. Thank you. It's nice. You guys are the best. You really are. So what are you guys talking about here? Who are you saying? He left his man. You have to look at the video. The cornerback. I don't know what play you're talking about, though. I'm a vampire at heart, right? That's funny. Yeah, Zach time. Jets forever. That's it. It's Zach time. And if this staff does it the right way, which, look, we've all voiced our qualms with this staff. But again, like I said in Greenbean's Jets pod this week, yesterday I released it. Like I said, if we're going to throw crap on them for the things that we disagree with, again, it's earned. We are smart. We are an educated fan base. It's not to say all of us are right or all of us are, tightly wound. That's definitely not the case. We're a little wacky. But we're a fan base, by and large, that pays attention, right? And over the years, we have been right significantly more than our regimes. The guys we didn't want and they took and we knew were stupid, flamed out. The guys that we wanted and they passed, they were great. Lots of the time. The coaches we picked were like, why? This guy, this was the guy. And then that guy gets hired and he's a stud. And then we sit there and we got to start over. That kind of shit. So we give the coaching staff crap for what we don't like. And again, it's fine. But when it works, like when they keep LaMarcus Joyner in there, when all of us are saying, dude, you kept Ashton Davis, you bumped Will Parks up to the active roster, get one of those guys on the damn field. LaMarcus Joyner is a train wreck. And then he comes and they stick with him. And then he turns around and he has the game of games. You got to give it to him. That's my thought. You got to give it to him. Corey Davis, they're sticking with him. Looks like he might be turning a corner. Now, it's early. We might be talking about LaMarcus Joyner and Corey Davis as losers in a week or two. It's very possible. But for right now, this is all we have without making up a fictitious future and being upset about it. You know what I mean? What we have right now is that these guys look like they're turning a corner. Now, Nathan Shepard is not. Ty Johnson, who they keep force-feeding into the game, now he's returning kicks. Like, I don't know why they feel the need to get him on the field. He's unreliable and scary, and I don't like him. That's not to say I don't think he's incredibly talented with the ball in his hands. I do, but he's feast or famine, and I don't want that shit. But they love him. Whatever. So you got to give him credit when it turns around. And if they continue to build, just like the fourth quarter stuff, we're all thinking it's over. This staff needs to get fired. Zach sucks. And then all of a sudden the fourth quarter rolls around. Zach's proficient, drives us down to the end zone for 14 points, unanswered, by the way. Our defense, led by LaMarcus Joyner, are batting balls away, picking off the kid. 4 picks, 3 sacks, numerous pressures, man. I mean, you can't take it away. You got to say, congrats. I applaud you. Good job. You guys are fighting. This is the first Jets team we've had in a long time that is actually fighting and playing till the end of the game. And like people say, it was a miracle in Cleveland. Bullshit. I call bullshit. We still needed to get a touchdown. We were down there in our own 20. We still had to get a touchdown. We still had to get an onside kick, and we still had to score another touchdown. So, dude, maybe one of that's a gift. You know, what was it, Nick Chubb running in the end zone? I think it was Chubb. Maybe that was a gift, sure. But that's their mistake. We make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. That's theirs. And we still had a lot of work to do in 2 minutes, and we did it. And that's a testament to the team, man, and the coach. You got to give it to them. You got to. And if that's what they're really building here, dude, it's exciting. A team that's balls to the wall for 60 minutes. That would be new. That's new. And I'm in. Matthew 13,400, or should I say 13400. Thank you for the super chat. He says, watching with my pops. Been a Jets fan since 77. Only the Jets luck. 91 draft. We draft 1 behind Atlanta. They take Favre. We get Browning Nagel. Brutal. Dude. Look, Matthew, I remember watching that draft with my buddies. I remember watching it. Just like I think it was Joe. He said, we didn't have a first round pick. The reason is because we used our first round pick in the supplemental draft to grab Rob Moore, but we didn't have it. I think there were no quarterbacks taken in the, I want to see something. I don't think there were any quarterbacks taken in the first. I'm going to look in a second though. Let me see something. So that was Rob Moore. Right. We took him in the supplemental draft the year before, which took our first round pick. So our first pick was the second round pick. It happened to be, like Matthew saying, 1 pick behind Atlanta. We were all in the market for a quarterback. The rumor is the Jets tried to jump him too. The rumor is the Jets tried. They tried to jump up a little bit to get Brett Favre. That was their guy. That was their guy. So Rob Moore ended up playing 5 years with the Jets, and then he made the Pro Bowl his last year with us. Then he played 5 years with the Arizona Cardinals. He had a Pro Bowl and All-Pro year. First team All-Pro with the Cardinals. He had 1,584 yards and 8 touchdowns. Jesus. And then he followed that with 982, 621. He had 3,000-yard years his last year with us. He had 692, 987, 726, 843, and 1,010 with the Jets. He's a good receiver, man. I liked Rob Moore. And he played with the end of Altoon, too, like the Altoon era. So it was Toon, Moore, Burkett, and Terrence Mathis. Those were our wide receivers. Remember what they called that? Anybody remember? Anybody remember what they called that? They called that 3 men and a baby. They even put out a poster. 3 men and a baby. You had 3 6-foot plus. They were like 6'3", all of them. You know, they were, and then Terrence Mathis was 5'10". Terrence Mathis was another one. We blew it. He was fantastic. We just underutilized him. We used him in punt returns. We used him as a slot receiver, but we just underutilized him. And then he goes to Atlanta. We let him go. In free agency, he runs over to Atlanta Falcons, and his first year, he leads the NFL in receptions and yards. Isn't it crazy, man? Let me see something. I want to see how many quarterbacks were taken, right? 1991 NFL draft. Let's see here. And I'll share. No. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Hold on. All right. 91. I'll show you guys too. NFL draft. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you guys can see it. What the hell's going on? What is present? They changed this. Why? That's brand new. Present? What the hell does that even mean? Present screen? The hell's present screen? Choose what to share. I've never seen this before. Weird, dude. Present screen. Hold on. All right, I'll share this with you guys. Hold on. You guys see that? Let me make sure you can see it. All right, let me zoom it in a little bit. Let's take a look at this draft just to see. So this is how it went. So this was we gave away our first round pick, and these were the guys that were out there. We're not going to remember all of them, right? So Leonard Russell, I liked him. Russell Maryland was the first pick. He was a stud. Eric Turner, I don't really remember him. Bruce Pickens, Mike Kroll, Todd Light, I remember him. Eric Swan, of course. Let's see, Herman Moore. Herman Moore was fun, man, out of UVA. Yep. And you had all these guys, Leonard Russell, right? Huey Bob Wilson, Alfred Williams, Calvin Pritchett. There he is, Todd Marinovich, right? For the Raiders. Remember Marinovich? Ted Washington, drafted by the Niners, ended up in Buffalo. Just an absolute stud. Mike Dumas, he was good. Henry Jones. But here he is. So not one quarterback. So you see, oh, there it is. Todd Marinovich. That was it. And he was a late first. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Dan McGuire went. That was a fail. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joe. But anyway, you look at it. So would the Jets have taken Brett Favre? Let's say, let's just say we were pick 15. Let's just, I don't know where we would have been that year. Well, what was our record 1990? Anybody know? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Jets were 6-10 that year. So we would have been around the 10th, 11th, 12th pick, something like that. Okay? That's what we would have been. The 10th, 11th, 12th pick. So what, Joe, we have to be realistic here. Would the Jets have taken Brett Favre, or would we have taken Dan McGuire out of San Diego State? Or would we have taken Todd Marinovich? Todd Marinovich I remember he was a slam dunk. Everybody loved Marinovich coming out. You know? So then here it is. Brett Favre, Browning Nagel. There it is. Broadway Browning, they called him, everybody. Well, let's see what else we did real quick. There he is. Then we followed that with Mo Lewis. Yeah, boy. Should have been a perennial All-Pro. Perennial Pro Bowler. Without question. The only reason he wasn't is because Derek Thomas and Junior Seau were such legends. Mo Lewis had better years than them and didn't even make it in the Pro Bowl. They, on their name recognition, they made it in. He should have been among that crew every year, bare minimum second team. He should have been second team every year. You look over the numbers, man. Let's see what else we did. Where's some Jets action? Mo Lewis, baby. Mark Gunn. I remember him. You guys remember Mark Gunn? He sucked. Let me see. He was gone. What did he do? Formerly played defensive tackle, New York Jets, 1991-94. He made it to, then he came back. Look at this. We got him back. We said, bring Mark Gunn back. He's good. So he bounced around, but he had a 5-year career. But he was never really more than like a rotational guy. Let's see what else we did here. This is fun. I love this stuff, man. I love to look back over memory lane, see what the hell. Blaze Bryant. He's another big old-fashioned Failer-Rooney. 5'11", 203 pounds out of Iowa State. What did he do? He did nothing. We drafted him. And then he went to the Saskatchewan. This was, oh, well, here it is. Yeah. So, yeah, he played in the CFL. So we used, what round was that? Blaze Bryant. We used a 6th-round pick. That's not too bad. 6th-round pick, and he ended up playing in the Canadian League. Then we had cornerback Mike Riley. Any more? Let's see. Doug Parrish. He didn't do anything. Now we're in our 6th and 7th, right? So Tim James. I don't even remember these guys. And I remember, right? Tim James, everybody. Oh, look at this. Paul Glonick. He did nothing. And there are guys down here. You know, there are teams that find players down here. Not us. Oh, here's another one. Al Baker. Look at him. 3 Pro Bowls during his career. Look at this. He made it to 3 Pro Bowls. No, that's a different guy. How the hell is that? That's a different guy. They have the wrong link here. There's no way. There's just no way. Anymore? Look at more Jets. Oh, this is the 11th round. That's why. Look at this. We're in the 11th round. Rosen Keaton. Geesh. Okay, enough of this. But you guys see, right? That was the Mo Lewis draft, everybody. That was Mo. That's my boy right there. Clay Wavy. Do we beat Miami and go 3-2? Also, fuck Dowell Loggins. That's great. That's fantastic. Here's what I like. Again, with no jinx, I'm afraid to jinx stuff. I think that the Jets are going to win. That's what I think. I think the Jets are going to beat these guys in our house. We're going to give our home fans, you guys who are going, we're going to give the home fans something to look at, something to be proud of. It's going to be the Titans game of last year. That's what I think. When are you just starting to hang around? I stopped doing the after hour thing because it's too much most weeks. This week is a little lighter. It has nothing to do with the wins. I was here all fucking last year, Mo. I went to every loss. I was here. So shut up. This guy's a grumpy ass. Rick checking in. Thank you, Rick. He says, we finally have a young, talented team. Mistakes should be expected with such a young team. Be patient. I know we are long-suffering fans, but this truly is a new, talented team. I could not agree more. I really do. Now, like I said before, it's tough to untie our knots. When we see first, second quarter, we're looking good, and then we watch them come back and kind of change the dynamic of the game in 2 minutes. Like we should have went into the half 13-3. Instead, we went into the half 10-6. Then they scored a touchdown. And so it was 13-10. You see what I mean? So when we see that stuff, we go, oh, here it comes again. That's what we do. But you're right. And if we can start to watch, even if it's like, we don't got to win every other game. But if we can, let's say the halfway point of the season, if we're 4-4, we're, 5-3, we should be very, very happy. We really should. Very, very happy. And that should lead us to believing that this team is taking steps forward because the talent, as Rick is saying here, it's undeniable, man. Undeniable. If the coaching utilizes these guys properly, puts them in the right positions, the offensive line protects this quarterback, and this quarterback doesn't get damaged like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was shell-shocked when he left here. That's why I'm surprised they traded for him and didn't sit him, at least for half a season. Sit him. Let him recoup. They took him and put the whole organization on his shoulder. There you go. That's worst move. But if we can do that with this kid, Zach Wilson, I honestly believe that this team is onto something. We have talent all over the place. Cornerback, we got talent there. Look at the defensive line. We got talent up and down it. Now, linebacker, we're aging, right? I'd love to. I mean, we don't know what we have in Sherwood. I don't know what happened. He kind of fell out of favor or something. I don't know. But look at the offense. We got ABT. We got talent in there. Got Laken Tomlinson, a Pro Bowler. Now he's been up and down, but we know what he can do. Connor McGovern, who's, hit or miss. He's played good. He played a perfect game last week. You got guys like Nate Herbig. You got talent there. No, we need to do something. We lost 4 tackles this year. Then you look at the the quarterback, look at the wide receivers, look at the running backs. We have legitimate talent, game-breaking type of talent. It's all over the place. So, yeah, I'm with you, Rick. I really am. Joe S. Marvin, I loved Marvin Jones. That was a great draft. 1992. We tricked the Cardinals into giving us Johnny Johnson to move up one spot. Now, we should have gotten more by today's standards, but we told them, we're going to take Garrison Hurst. You want to come up and take Garrison Hurst, you got to give us Johnny Johnson. And they did, and then we took the guy we wanted all along, which was middle linebacker Marvin Jones, who, next to Mo Lewis, and he played behind Kyle Clifton for a minute. And that was the first year of free agency. So we got Ronnie Lott, Leonard Marshall, Boomer Esiason. Then we drafted Marvin Jones. I remember sitting there in the preseason, giddy in the stadium. I was just watching. I'm like, oh my God, Ronnie Lott, Marvin Jones, Leonard Marshall, Boomer Esiason. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. Greg says, that's the year I was born, talking about Brett Favre shit. All right. Let me get to the Ablab. What's up, Ablab? Good to see you, buddy. He says, I feel you about the uniforms, GreenBean. Someone should play with the classic green, new green. What do you mean play with it? Like design some stuff or play the actual team? I'd like this. You know what the thing is? I like this green. This might be my favorite green that the Jets have used, this Gotham green. I like it. It's darker, deeper, richer. Like, I actually like it. I hate I gotta be the little the thing here, those little slices, whatever, they're supposed to be wings. I don't like that. Now I'm old. I have old ideas. I like stripes. You know what I mean? That's me. I don't like those though. Like, even when I put it on, I'm like, I don't like them. And I don't love the logo, but I don't hate them. There are people that despise it. I'm not there. I'm fine with it. But I don't like that. I don't like the way the uniforms I think they struggle to be what they're trying to be. Like, if you're going to do it, in my opinion, it's like, do it. Like, go for it. Get some wings and do the whole thing. I don't know. But the actual green, I mean, look, it's stealth black. There are different blacks. I know that, but I can't tell the difference. Can you? I mean, when one's lighter, like more of a gray, of course, or like you look at a TV and one is deeper black, of course, you can see the dip, but black, to me, black is black. Stealth black, is it different than another black? Fine. Spotlight white, sure. I know. I was painting my studio, right? And I went to get paint, and the guy said he has 79 different whites. 79 whites. He's like, yep. Some people, they swear by one or the other. Sometimes you look at them, no difference. Okay? That's the one you like. That's the one you like. Maybe your eyes are different. Remember the thing with the friggin' dress, the blue, black, or gold, white, that friggin' dress? I thought it was a joke. Like, somebody showed me the dress. They said, what do you see here? What color is the dress? I said, blue and black. And they started laughing hysterically. See, blah, blah. I said, what the hell's the joke? I don't understand. The dress is white and gold. I'm like, dude, like, what is this? It's black and blue. It's clear as day. And then it took me a while. I didn't believe it. I thought they were all I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Of course. And then my wife said, what color do you see? We were talking. You see the dress? What color do you see? I said, black and blue. She goes, I see white and gold. I'm like, really? That's really what you see? I still can't see. So, some people say, oh, if I focus, I can see the other one. Not me. I can't see white and gold in that thing. I can't see it. Doesn't work. I see blue and black only. So who knows? Maybe people are looking, maybe we're both looking at the same color, but we're seeing something different. That's why you got to remember, somebody else's opinion, they're not wrong. They might be seeing something completely different than you're seeing. And if you saw what they were seeing, you might hate it too. You know what I mean? But there's a jet in the helmet, man. I don't care. You guys are wrong. It's there. Everybody says I'm nuts. Hey, Fresh, how you doing? This is Fresh. What's up, Fresh 3542? Good to see you. Let's see what else we got. We're gonna wrap this up. Jake Asman, look at this. That's right, everybody. I will be on the Jake Asman show tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm looking forward to it. If you guys haven't had quite enough green bean, and everything's amplified and raised a level when you're with Jake. You guys know that. Jake's show is the best. So when I'm on there, it's a whole different green bean. So, yeah, thank you for having me on, Jake. I'm excited. And thank you for the super chat, for sure. I'm very excited to be with Jake Asman in the morning. And thank you for reminding me. I'm just kidding. I have all kinds of alarms and alerts. I don't miss stuff like that. But thanks, Jake. And yeah, you guys know Jake Asman tomorrow, 10 a.m. We'll be hanging out. Timbo, $2.52. What an interesting thing. Hello from a Saints fan. Huge fan of Zach Wilson. Well, hello, Timbo. Welcome. Welcome to the Saints fan. We were just talking about the Saints a little while ago when they traded for Teddy Bridgewater and how well he did behind Drew Brees when he needed to come in for that. It was 4 or 5 games, something like that. 6 maybe. That's what we need to see is Teddy Bridgewater. Well, the opposite, actually. We need to see Teddy Bridgewater not do what he did in New Orleans. We need to see the opposite of that. But yeah, thank you for popping in and hopping over and saying hello. I'm glad you said hello. I love when other teams' fans come here. You know what I mean? I love when other teams' fans. No, when they're scumbags, I don't like that. When they're sometimes when we're live on the game streams, you guys probably don't even see it a lot of the time. I get it fast sometimes. People are like, ha, ha, ha. I'm like, goodbye. Goodbye. Nope. When it's ugly, the last thing I like, I've literally lost friends in those moments. Like friends that like to rub my face and stuff. Literally. I have told people, okay, man, clearly I'm upset. Clearly I take this seriously. Whether I'm right or wrong is inconsequential. Clearly I am upset. And if you are supposed to be my friend, you would not want to amplify my negative feelings. Now, I've told you to stop. I've asked you numerous times. I'm not enjoying what you're doing. And you're having a blast, and it's been whatever, half hour of this shit, an hour, and I've asked you to stop, and you're still doing it. If you do it again, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to smash your face into the wall repeatedly until you go to sleep. Okay? And if you can stop me, you can stop me, but that's what's going to happen. I've had friends say, the fact that you took it to that level, I can't be near you. I said, well, thank you, because the fact that you're such a piece of shit and want your friends to feel so bad, whether I'm right or wrong for taking it so seriously, but I've expressed to you, I don't want you as a friend. No shit. That has happened in my life. That has actually happened. And the same I said with the smash your face against the wall. It's pretty close to what I said, actually. No, I'm not a violent man anymore. I'm not. I was. I used to be. Please rank these 3 edge groups on a big, this is the last thing. And then we have if we don't have a thing. All right. GreenBean, please rank these 3 edge groups on a big third down. JJ Huff, Lawson JJ, Lawson Huff. On a big third down. You know what? I'm going to say something here, Zach. I'm going to say it. I think I would prefer on a big third down right now, JJ and Huff. I'm telling you, when Huff is on the field, again, he was on the field for 9 plays. He had 9 impact plays. Whether it's a pressure, whether it's almost a sack, whether it's sealing something off so somebody else could do something. Bryce Huff makes his presence felt. And that's not to say I don't like Carl Lawson. I do. I think Huff has a knack. He just has the knack. That's me. That's me. I reserve the right to change my mind in a minute. But right now, that's what I think. And Mike says Lawson Huff. Right. I could see that. Dude, Jermaine Johnson is, and I tell you what, I was watching the Chiefs game. Carl Loftus is another one, man. I mean, I just don't know how you guys weren't in love with him like me and Jets Forever. I was like really hoping that it was him. If not Aiden Hutchinson, as the guy, but we didn't have a chance at him. But Jermaine Johnson is leading all the rookies in effectiveness, whether, all the collected stats for his amount of playing time. Dude, the more he plays, he's one of those guys, the more he plays, the better he's going to get. All right. So I like him. Agreed. You know how I feel about Carl Loftus. But that doesn't mean that's the thing. Like, you're a little bit more black and white to me. Just because I like Carl Loftus and I was hoping we picked him doesn't mean I can't like JJ. Doesn't mean I'm not rooting for him. It doesn't mean that I don't like him. That's how I see it. And you're a little different. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Modine finally says something good. Right here, Jets Forever. You see that? Modine, Jets have to get Huff and Mims in for Jets Forever. Right. Throw us a bone, damn it. That all said, you guys are the best. Have a great night, everybody. I'll leave you with this, and I will see you at 10 a.m. on Jake Asman's show. Don't forget, if you're considering Manscaped, it's right there. The link is in the description. The code GreenBean, 20% off. Free shipping. And right now, they happen to have greater deals on the website that can be combined with my code. So, dude, if you're thinking about it, now's the time. Go ahead, get in on it, and it helps the channel. So thank you very much. Guys, have a great night. I will see you. Let me get this off real quick. I will see you next time. Good night, everybody. You can say, just like in Cleveland, they said it was a miracle. The Jets needed a miracle. Baloney, man. It was 14-14 at the half. We drove down their throats numerous times. We fumbled on the 10-yard line. Like, give me a break. We were in the game the whole time. We saw an opportunity with 2 minutes left, and we took it. That's what happened. We took your lunch, Cleveland Browns. Well, we did the same thing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett, who they brought in the second half, and we've seen this so many times. They bring in the new guy. We saw it with Baker Mayfield. We saw it with Kyle Pitts. They bring him in, and he's the hero. Kenny Pickett, who's a punk, by the way. Laughing, he's jawing with our team. He's a rookie. He's out there. He thinks he's this, that, and the other thing. Well, guess what? He ends up throwing 3 interceptions, and he kind of didn't look so good the rest of the game, okay? After he kind of ran in a touchdown, looked like he was going to be the hero. Not so much, because he's a punk, and punks always pay, and that's the way it is.
A violent vertical edge setter.
We competing today. I see some gas off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. Disagree.